All right, welcome everybody. Hello, my name is Leah Simone. Happy to be connecting with you in this video. This is day 2 of Meditate and Create, and I'm very excited to be here sharing with you again. If you happen to be watching the replay, thank you so much for tuning in. So for today, I have some fun, exciting practices to share with you, and I wanted to just give a little background about myself as well. My name is Leah Simone, originally born in New Jersey in the United States. I am a lifelong artist. I also have a 4-year degree in visual arts. I've spent a lot of my life working on my skills and creative practices, painting, drawing, sculpture. I'm also a performance artist. Creativity in general is very, very near and dear to my heart, and I think it's something that's very important for people to explore in this life, in this world, especially when there's so much chaos going on at times, so much pressure to focus on, productivity and all these things that society says you should be doing. When I know that deeply in the hearts of many people, what we would also love to be doing is being creative and expressing ourselves. So I'm also a certified life coach and hypnotist, and one of the things I help people do is actually I help people work through their mental blockages, limiting beliefs, self-doubt, self-sabotage, all that kind of stuff, so that they can get past their doubts and work on their creative projects, to write that book, to make your album, to make your painting, whatever the thing is that you want to do, because I think that's one of the most important things that we can do, as I said. And I think we all deserve to see the potential of our creativity. We deserve to see what actually lies dormant inside of us. And you never know when that painting that you're just waiting to make maybe will impact hundreds or even thousands of people. Maybe your book will be purchased by hundreds or thousands of people or inspire many people. So I think that it's extremely important, actually. It's not always emphasized by society how important creativity is, but that is part of the reason why I'm sharing these events and why I am available if you feel like you want to be more creative in your life, you have something inside of you and you want support bringing it out of you, then definitely reach out to me. I would be happy to talk to you further and see if I might be able to support you in that process. Okay, so today I am going to be talking about Vipassana, which is also an amazing, very powerful meditation practice. It's kind of funny because I'm going to be giving a very short little introduction to Vipassana. If you do a real Vipassana retreat, you will find that actually the official Vipassana retreat is 10 days long, and you spend 10 days in silence, meditating every day for many hours. It's pretty intense, but very powerful also. But I'm just going to be giving a little intro to Vipassana, what it is, and then we will just use that as a push off for our creative practice again today. So, Vipassana, originally, the meaning of Vipassana is basically to observe things as they are, to observe reality as it is. Okay, so a lot of our suffering in this life comes from the desire to change things from what they are and a lack of acceptance for what is. So if we are in our life and wishing that, we had something we don't, maybe it's more money, a bigger house, more friends, it could be lots of things. Maybe it's more time creating your art and paintings. And we just suffer because we just wish things were different, and we're not accepting things as they are in this moment. So Vipassana is a simplified practice to help us embody this belief and this acceptance of reality as it is. Okay, so what does that mean, right? So to practice Vipassana, it is a practice of observation. So there's two main Vipassana techniques. There's actually others as well, but I'm going to do the two main ones today. So we will start with Anapana, which is another breathing technique, but different from the breath work that we did yesterday. This is a breathing technique of observation. So we're doing, when we're doing Anapana, we are literally breathing. We're just breathing in and out through our nose, breathing normally. And we are the only thing that we want to be doing or focusing on is actually the sensation of the air as it is entering and exiting our nostrils. So it's actually incredibly simple, but something so simple becomes quite challenging, especially when you try to do it for an extended period of time, because the mind has this tendency to want to wander and distract you and go thinking of just about anything else besides the sensation of the breath in your nostrils, right? So that is the first part of Vipassana, is Anapana, which is the nose breathing. And so Anapana is a great technique for focusing the brain. So if you have a lot of mental chatter, mental noise, distracted thoughts, Anapana is a great way to center in, kind of send this message to your brain that's like, no, we are going to focus right now. We're going to just sit quietly and reflect on the sensation of air entering and exiting our nose. And that can be a great way, as I said, to limit mental chatter, distractions, all that kind of thing. So that is the first practice. And then generally, if you're doing a kind of standard Vipassana sit, is generally 1 hour of meditation. We're not going to do a full hour today, but usually then it would, you can do a full hour of Anapana. That already takes a lot of concentration, but you can also do you can also combine Anapana with Vipassana meditation. So if you were doing a full hour, for example, maybe you would do 10, 15, 20 minutes of Anapana, and then you would switch to Vipassana. So full Vipassana meditation is also a practice of observation, except that it's observing the sensations in the body. So we actually, when we practice Vipassana, then we are doing what is called scanning the body. So when we're scanning the sensations in the body, again, we are focusing, we're using our concentration to reduce noise, extraneous thoughts, random things going through our mind, whatever it may be. So we are just focusing on sensations in the body. So when we do the Vipassana, we start at the top of the head. We are scanning and focusing the attention at a small space. When we're in our mind just observing, you kind of try your best to sense any feelings that you have in that area. So you spend a few moments scanning and observing a particular region of the body, and then you let your awareness begin to progress through the body. So I would start at the top of the head, gradually move down maybe to the forehead and kind of upper head regions, then slowly move down, observe maybe the ears, the face, the order and kind of regions that you break it down into can be up to your own choice. But generally that's how it works. So you start at the top of the head, you go down through the body, very slowly progressing, scanning, and all you're doing is observing sensations. Okay, so that keeps us very present in the moment. And so, what is the goal of doing this? The goal is to release ourselves from a desire or an attachment. So, we are doing our best to observe sensations as they are in this moment. We want to release ourselves from craving or desiring, thinking things like, oh, I wish my sensations were pleasurable. Or maybe you will come to a region of the body where you feel like you don't have a lot of sensation there. Maybe it feels a little numb or kind of dense, like you really can't feel a specific region very much. And we also have to just observe that as it is. We have to say, okay, so my right shoulder, I have no sensation there. Okay, that is how it is. That's fine. And I'm just going to keep continuing with the practice, observing, allowing. Even if we have pain, sometimes if you sit for longer periods of time doing Vipassana, pain definitely does arise in the body. And also that is a big challenge, to just observe the pain and allow it to exist as it is, okay? So it's a very powerful practice, as I said. And it's a great way to focus. As we're doing this practice, if you have thoughts arise, which is very normal and common, you can be doing your observation, all of a sudden your brain says, oh, I'm wondering what I'm doing later, or oh, I forgot to do that thing. Tomorrow is, my appointment, whatever it is that pops in your head. Our goal is also to just observe these thoughts as they arise and then let them just disappear. We don't have to respond or engage with them, because it can be easy to have a thought pop up, say, oh, my appointment tomorrow. Oh yeah, so then I'm gonna have to go to the store. Then your brain can go on a whole 20-minute tangent of thinking of all the things you're going to do tomorrow or whatever it may be. So our goal is also to release those thoughts as they arise and try our very best to stay present. Again, it's a challenge and it's a practice, and it can get easier over time. It's also, sometimes if you make it a regular practice, some days it comes more easily. Some days it's like, I just cannot focus. I cannot feel whatever it is. My brain is just all over the place. And that's also okay. That's also part of the practice of just observing things as they are without judging. Okay, so I love this practice. It's been super helpful in my life. And I would like us to, before we start, just keep in mind, we can then embody this mentality in our creative practice. Okay, so we are going to do our Vipassana. We're just going to do a short little session, and then we're going to go into our art creative practice. Okay, so again, as we are doing our art creation, we can embody the same thought process, which is, instead of longing or desiring to make our creativity something that is not, we just let it be what it is. We observe, we accept, we let it exist. We let ourselves create however we want to create. And we try our best not to judge as ugly, as it should be this, it should be that. Just let it exist and come out. And sometimes you might learn something about yourself in that process, or you might discover or release something that needed to come out, that was being suppressed because of our judgments of trying to change the reality from what it is. So that, I think, is kind of an important part of this lesson, to bring the art practice full circle with the meditation. Okay, so I think for the Anapana, we're going to start with Anapana, which, as I said, is the nose breathing. And I'm just going to have us do a few short minutes of it. Okay, so I think I will narrate a bit at the beginning to help get it started. And then I'll just watch the timer, and we can do about 3 minutes of Anapana and then maybe 5 minutes of Vipassana, which I will also narrate to start. And then for the end, I will just kind of leave it up to you to continue the practice, okay? So when we do Vipassana, you usually want to be seated upright. It can be done laying down, but there's a lot more temptation than to fall asleep or not be fully attentive or present if you're laying down. So sitting upright is usually the preferred position. Okay, so before we begin, if you want to get your art supplies ready, as I said, we're going to do this short practice and then we're going to go into some art creation afterwards. So if you need to pause the video, go ahead. Okay, so to begin our Anapana practice, we are just going to be breathing normally through our nose, okay? So you can inhale and exhale normally. And as we breathe in, we're just observing. It's nothing extreme. We're just observing the very delicate sensation of air as it's entering the nostrils, right? We can just feel maybe it's a bit cool. Maybe we can notice the temperature of the air just as it's passing in the nostrils. And as it comes out, we just feel a tiny sensation in this little area, right? Just the entrance of our nose. And we are doing our best just to observe this sensation and nothing else. We're really trying to release all other thoughts, all other distractions. Just observing the sensation of the air. And so we might notice as the air is going in, it's a little bit cooler temperature. And as it's coming out, it's a little warmer. The longer you do this, you might notice other sensations in your nose or around your nostrils. But again, if you have other thoughts arise, if you have sensations in other parts of the body, we just want to release any other thoughts or distractions and do our best just to focus on this region of the nose, okay? So I am just going to have this timer. We already did 1 minute, so I'm just going to watch. Just keep doing your observation. We'll do about 2 more minutes, okay? Okay, so that's about 3 minutes. Of course, you can go longer if you like, but for the purpose of this video, I am going to keep going. Okay, so now, as I mentioned, we're going to just transition into our Vipassana practice. So we are going to be observing the body. So again, we're going to observe the sensations in our body. We're going to start at the top of the head. I'm going to narrate our way through the body, one scan, and then again, I'll give some time to just do it on your own. So we're starting at the top of the head, observing any sensations that you might feel there. If you can't really feel any sensations, that's okay as well. Just observe that as well. Okay, so we're gradually now moving down from the top of the head, going a little bit lower, maybe to the forehead region, this region, kind of a circle around just underneath the crown of the head. Again, feeling any sensations that might come up. And the idea is just to be present in the moment, observing the reality as it is. So we're just scanning and observing these sensations. And we can gradually let our awareness move down. So now I'm imagining a band of sensation that's kind of going around my eyes and around my head in that region. And again, just observing the sensations, releasing any thoughts that come up. Okay, and we're just going to keep moving down. Now I'm imagining the area that's kind of around my mouth, maybe the bottom of my ears, this region going around my head, back of my neck. Again, observing the sensations. And I'm just going to keep going down, scanning. Now I'm going to go into my neck, kind of as a whole region, scanning the front and back of my neck, just observing the sensations there. And if you want to go slower or faster or break the body into different sections, that's fine as well. As long as we're just observing, releasing any craving to make this into something other than what it is in this moment. Okay, so I'm going to go down from my neck. I'm scanning kind of the tops of my shoulders, the very top of my back. Just again, observing any sensations. And I don't know if you can hear in my video, there's a little bit of noise in the background. If we have noises, all of that, we just release it. Try not to give it our attention and just try to stay present and focus on the sensations. Okay, so I'm going to start to go into my arms. I'm going into my upper arms. If you want to do one arm at a time, you can do that. You can do both arms kind of side by side at the same time, if that works for your brain. Okay, so I am scanning my upper arms both at the same time right now. Just feeling whatever is present there. And then I'm going to continue scanning down into the forearms, into the hands and fingertips. If you feel like the fabric of your clothing against your skin, anything like that, that's just all part of the observation. Okay, so once we finish our arms, I'm going to move into, I'm kind of at the upper chest cavity, rib cage area. So I'm going to scan all that area, upper back, rib cage. And it is possible you can scan the exterior surface. You can also, once you become a little more aware of yourself, you can even kind of scan internally. You might be able to connect with your organs or your muscles and bones and that kind of thing. Okay, I'm going to move down now to my hips and waist region, lower back, all of that area of my body. Just scanning, observing the sensations. And I will continue scanning into the upper legs, upper thighs. Moving down into the knees. Scanning my calves and legs, shin area. Down into the ankles, the feet, and the toes. Just observing whatever is present for you in each part of the body. So if you are going to continue this Vipassana practice for a longer period, once you reach your toes and the bottom of the body, you can just reverse the process and start scanning upwards. So I would start with my toes and my feet and just move back upwards through the body into the ankles, the shins, the knees, etc., through the whole body. And you can just go up and down through the whole body, unlimited number of times. And I'll just give one more minute for us to scan anything else that we want to independently, and then we can do our art creation time. Okay, so I'm just gonna switch over 1 second here. Of course, if you want to sit longer in your Vipassana, feel free to do so. I'm gonna play this peaceful music and just go into some art creation. So I hope you enjoyed that practice. Thank you for your presence with me. So let's make some art. All right, friends, again, thank you so much for joining me. Of course, if you want to keep creating, feel free to continue as long as you like. I hope that you enjoyed this practice, and I hope that you have an absolutely beautiful day. And I look forward to connecting with you again in another video. Wishing you all the best.